Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is your English class and I am your subject teacher, Ms. Fawzia Naz. I welcome you in my class. Today we have to continue with the rest part of the reading selection 2.1, that is I Have a Dream, that is by Martin Luther King Jr. So this speech is delivered by Martin Luther King. We had talked about the compositional strategies and techniques of this speech. That first half of the speech, it paints not an idealized American dream but a picture of seething American nightmare of racial injustice. So in the first half we talked about the racial discrimination. In the second part he paints the picture of better, fairer future of racial harmony and integration. That is the dream of a Negro, that is a dream of a black person. A black person, he demands a fairer future that is free of racial discrimination, that is of harmony and integration. Then we talked about the figurative language. We talked about the strategies that he had used to pay emphasis on his dream, to pay emphasis on what he said, right? So in that technique we talked about metaphors, we talked about repetition, we talked about parallelism, and we talked about rhetorical techniques. There is the repetition of I have a dream that gives inspirational concepts. Then this was the last paragraph that I read for you people on Friday, and in this paragraph what did he say? He said that we can never be satisfied as long as Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. So no, we are not satisfied. We will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. So he considered that this justice should be like a blessing for all citizens of America. It should roll down like waters. Water is a blessing of God. So they should be blessed with righteousness like water. Right over here he make use of simile. And he said that yes, if they are considered citizens of America, then they should know that for what they had been voting. They are voting for their rights that they would get in future, and if they would not get their rights in future, then why would they vote? And secondly, he said that Mississippi is a far off state, and over there Negroes, they don't have the right to vote. So if they don't have the right to vote, it means that they have not been considered the citizens of America over there. So he wanted to end this racial segregation, this racial disintegration and segregation in the society. Let's continue from this part to the next part. Next part is repetition of I have a dream. He said that I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations, and some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Actually, when he delivered his speech at the Lincoln Memorial, many people, as he was a Negro, because of his call over there at Lincoln Memorial, many black people wanted to reach over there at that place. Either they are living near to that place or they are far off from that place. They tried to reach to that place where he had delivered the speech in order to show the unity with their dream, with the motive that Martin Luther King had for the black people. So he was talking to those people. He said that I am not unconscious, and I know about this thing. I'm aware of this thing, that many of you have come over here after the great trials and tribulations, that you people have been tested a lot. When you people had come over here, you had to face a lot of troubles and sufferings when you reached over here, and some of you had come direct from narrow jail cells. So some of you have come over here from the areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. So definitely the white people, they did not want them to gather at one place to talk about their single motive. So they had been treated very brutally when they wanted to reach to that place. The police brutality, they were definitely very brutal towards the people. So he said that I know this thing, that you people have been assaulted, you people have been shocked by the treatment of the police towards you, how brutal they had been with you, but you people are the veterans of creative suffering. So he tried to encourage the people over there who had come from different parts of the country. He wanted to show that they are associated and they are linked with his dream, and this was their dream as well. So in order to show the togetherness, in order to show the unity with that single motive, they had come from different areas of the country, and while reaching over there to that place, they had to face many trials and tribulations. They had faced a lot of sufferings and great troubles, and they had been assaulted. They had been deeply shocked by the way the police had been treating them. So he tried to encourage those people that you people are the veterans of creative suffering. You people must continue to work with faith, as this suffering, this unearned suffering, this suffering is redemptive. They would recover from this suffering if they do consider this thing, that this is deserved suffering, they do deserve that kind of suffering, then he was sure that they would recover from that suffering. That is kind of a message from a leader towards the people, towards the follower, that don't get fed up of all these trials and tribulations. Do not get shocked by the police brutality. You people are the old and expert people, mature people, as in order to get the freedom, in order to get justice and equality, one has to pass through such kind of suffering. But do believe on this thing, that all these sufferings are recoverable. Go back to Mississippi, go back to Alabama, go back to South Carolina, go back to Georgia, go back to Louisiana, go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. So again, there is a message of hope for the people, for the followers who had gathered over there with the hope that they would get freedom. So he wanted to encourage them that do not wallow in the valley of despair, do not wander into the valley of despair, do not lose yourself into despair and discontentment. They must be very hopeful, and they must return to their areas. He had used different names of the different areas from where they had come: Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, Louisiana. So all these are the parts where the black people or the Negroes, they were in a large number over there. So he said that you people have to go back to your homes with this satisfaction, as slums and ghettos are the poor, the areas where the poor people they live. So northern cities they were living in slums and ghettos. They were not living a very comfortable life. They were living in a poverty. So he wanted them to go back to their places with the repetition of go back, go back, go back. He tried to emphasize on this thing that Negroes, they wanted a very peaceful demand from the white people, that they wanted the equal rights, the equal citizenship that they have been enjoying. It is the right of the black people as well. So he had given that message to the black people, that do not feel at loss and do not be lost and into the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. So he with this message, that my dream is not something that should not be achieved, or that cannot be achieved, and that would remain in the memory. He said that my dream is the same dream as as it is deeply rooted in the American dream. American dream and my dream is the same dream. And what is that dream? I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. You can see over here the repetition of I have a dream, I have a dream. I had used the arrows for this repetition. This rhetorical technique has been used in order to emphasize on what he wanted to say, what he wanted to deliver, what he wanted to put into the minds and the hearts of the audience. So what did he say? That what is his dream? That this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. What is the faith of the American people? That all people are equal. So he said that this nation who has such a beautiful dream that everyone is will get his equal right. He said that this nation will rise up and live out of the true meaning of its creed. So we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. So he said that the American nation had this truth. And what is that truth? That is quite obvious, that all men are created equal. So I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of the former slaves and the sons of the former slave owners will be able to sit together at the table of brotherhood. So again, he was emphasizing on this thing, that equality, it would be done on all the people, either they are the slaves or either they are the masters. So the rules and the law, it would be equal for all. So he said that I had a dream that there would be the this relationship of brotherhood between the slaves and the masters. I have a dream that one day when the states of Mississippi, a desert state sweltering with the heat of injustice and oppression, will soon be transferred into asses of freedom and justice. So in Mississippi, people, they had been facing a lot of injustice and oppression. So he compared it with the desert state that is sweltering with heat. Sweltering means that is uncomfortably hot. There was a lot of injustice and inequality over there in Mississippi state. So he wanted to change that desert into an oasis of freedom and justice. He wanted that, according to his dream, this place would be changed into a place that would be free from the injustice and oppression. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. So he said that these Negroes, they would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. So this is actually the message that he wanted to convey to the white people, that if they are white, then they should have no right to look down upon the black people. They should be judged only by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, whose governor's lips are presently dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, will be transferred into a situation where little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with the little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. So equality he wanted to see into Alabama, into another state. And in that state, actually the governor, he was very much against of the black people. Whatever the law and the order or amendment would come in favor of the black people, he make it null and void. So nullification, he used to say no in favor of black people, and he always interrupt if any amendment would come in favor of the black people. He said that into that state he wanted to see that all the black boys and girls and all the white boys and girls are in hand in hand, and they are like brothers and sisters of each other. There is no difference between them. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. So again, he talked about his dream. He wanted to the public, the audience, to have that dream and to see that dream together. And what was that dream? That every valley of America, it would be raised high, every hill, mountain is made low. So the difference in the high and the low class, poor and the rich people, black and the white people, it should all made equal. There should not be any difference. So with the use of different metaphors, like उसने क्या किया है, mountain and hills का एक comparison draw किया over here. He used the comparison of the crooked places and the straight places. So with all these comparisons and metaphors, he just wanted to make the audience realize that if there is some difference between the black and the white people, like of the mountain and the hills, like that of the rough places and of the plain places, or of the crooked places or the straight places, then all that should be removed, and everything should be made equal. This is a hope, and this is the faith that I go back to south. With this faith, we will be able to heave out of the mountain of despair into a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transport the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. So in this part of the speech, he said that, okay, we have gathered over here to see that dream, and with this dream we hope that all the disagreements will be which are like as big as that of mountain, and with our effort, with the help of the efforts, we can heave out, we can transfer the amount of despair into a stone of hope. And similarly, he said that actually all the white and the black people, all the disagreement, it is all like jangling discords. So he wanted to change these jangling discord that is making noise, that is creating disturbance, that is displeasing for the ears as well. So he wanted to change all that jangling discord into a symphony of a beautiful symphony of a brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. So over here, with the use of the rhetorical technique, with the use of repetition, and with the use of parallelism, he said that we will pray together, work together, struggle together, go to jail together. So with our unity, with our one dream, with our one stance, we will be able to be free one day. We will be able to get justice one day, and this will be the day when all the God's children will be able to sing with the new meaning. My country, it's of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside let freedom ring. So this is a song that is sung by the old hero. What is said in that song, that this is my country, it's sweet land of liberty, where everyone is free, and for this land where his forefathers had died in order to get their equal rights, he said that this is the land where the visitors come and they feel pride to visit that place. Why? Because it's advanced and it's modern and country. So why the pilgrims they come over here? Because they are the first world country where there is freedom for everyone. So from every mountainside let freedom ring. And if America is to be great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. So he make use of the names of the states, of different states of America. He just wanted to make the audience realize this thing, that he wanted the freedom to ring from all sides of America, either these are the big hills, hilltops. Broadishes means that large hilltops of the New Hampshire, or these are the mighty mountains of New York, or the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. So these are different types of the hills. So he wanted them that the song of freedom, it should reach to the heights of the these mountains and hilltops as well. So let the freedom ring from every side of the country. But not only that, let freedom ring from the Stone Mountain of Georgia, from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. Let freedom from every mountainside, let freedom ring. So molehill is a small hill. So he wanted that not only over those places where there is northern areas, but also the southern areas. So from every part of the country, let the freedom ring. When we let freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up the day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. So in the last, he just closed his speech with this old Negro spiritual song, and according to that song, that everyone is free at last, and thank God Almighty, we are free at last. So he demanded from the white people of the society that let the freedom ring from every part of the country. Do accept these black people, these Negroes, as the citizens of America, and let them bless with all the facilities that America offer to the white people as well. As the black people, they have the equal rights. Either they are the Jews, either they are Protestants and Catholics, they are the citizens of America, and they should face, or they should feel the freedom. And he ended his speech with the old Negro spiritual song, that free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Thank you very much, girls. This is the end of the your lesson. So after that, we will have the exercise. So in the next class, we will start with the exercise, and I end my lesson over here with the Martin Luther King's words, that I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of the skin, but by the content of their character. What is more important, that is character. Thank you very much.